Here we go. Good evening, family. It is good to see you all. It is good to have you here. Hope that you are blessed and I hope that you are doing well. Let me quickly see who's with us on YouTube. The suburbs. Naftalina, good evening. Joe, good evening. Sipokazi, good evening. Usupeng, Amanda Moyo, Monica Mahoto, good evening. Bonolo Nkwe, good evening. Ntabiseng Chweu, good evening. Khabo, good evening. Nontlantla, Madam Bonisile, good evening. Toki, good evening. Spelele, good evening. So many of you going by so fast. You're going by too fast. Cornelius Nakedi, good evening. Naledi, Lehwale, Fezeka, Tando, good evening. Good evening. Oliswa. Listen, very excited to be here tonight and very excited to share tonight's word with you. It is a word that is for somebody who is watching this right now in need of a word that confirms, a word that instructs, a word that corrects, a word that encourages, a word that gives wisdom. You're in the right place tonight, right? Happy Friday Eve. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the privilege and the honor of being here tonight. I thank you for my brothers and sisters watching from different parts of the world. I pray that over these next few minutes that we have together, you will bless your people. Stand in my body and speak through my voice. Let your word go out with power and with authority. Father, this is your live stream. These are your people and I am your servant. And for that reason, we ask that you will have your way. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, Lord. You are our strength, and Lord, you are our Redeemer. Have your way here among us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Family, good evening. Good evening. Madam Stella, Didi, good evening. Nwabisa, good evening. Oratilwe, good evening. Abongile, Lali. Go ahead and share the live stream if you haven't yet. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and share the live stream. Encourage someone else to be here. Encourage a friend, a neighbor. Encourage that person that you don't like. Just go ahead and share with everybody. It doesn't matter who. Right? Rebuild your strength. Rebuild your strength. That's our word for tonight. Rebuild your strength. And this is, of course, day 13 of our 30-day series, Try Again. Try Again. And the purpose of this is to remind someone that just like those first disciples that Jesus picks up, when everything is in alignment, with the right instruction, with the right revelation, it is possible to go from empty nets to overflow. It is possible to go from empty nets to overflow. So, with that being said, I'm really looking forward to the session tonight as we speak about rebuilding our strength. Our word for tonight is rebuild your strength. We've spoken about rebuilding your consistency, spoken about rebuilding your faith, spoken about the rebuilding your confidence, your courage. And tonight, we want to look at rebuilding strength. Sometimes we feel weak. And sometimes we feel defeated. We feel exhausted. And I think especially with where a lot of people are at this time of the year, feel exhausted, defeated, depleted, and unwilling to do anything, unwilling to go out, to march forward anymore. Just a quick one, is our network okay on YouTube? I see it loading, but I see it's fine again now. It was buffering for a little bit on my side. Is the network okay? Everybody just give me a network score out of 10. Out of 10, tell me what you're seeing. Okay. Sianda says it's a 10. Good evening, brother. Bali says it's a 10. Okay. 100. 100 is good. 100 is very good. So we agree that if you have a problem, it's not me, it's you. We agree on that. For the rest of this live stream, if you have a network problem, it's your network problem. It's your rain Wi-Fi, your rain Wi-Fi that plays music. My friend got that Wi-Fi, and I thought it was funny. He had a rain Wi-Fi that he was playing music out of. I said that's why the calls sound that way. That's why the calls sound like we're on a walkie-talkie. Sounds like a walkie-talkie because your Wi-Fi plays music and videos. It plays, you watch TikTok on a Wi-Fi. That's what phones are for. Now, if that's your Wi-Fi, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's advancement. It's you. You are the future. You are the future. If that's you, yeah. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But if you don't know, then it probably sounds weird. But literally, they click on the Wi-Fi and it plays music. It's a boombox. The Wi-Fi is a boombox. 1 Samuel chapter 30. 1 Samuel chapter 30. We're going to read verse 1 to verse 10 for a start. 1 Samuel chapter 30. Now, at this point, we have King David. King David has been anointed king, but he hasn't yet been appointed king. He has defeated Goliath. He has made a name for himself. But this is quite a tumultuous season in his life, that in-between season. Experiencing the tension that a lot of us experience in that in-between season. Some of you are there right now, right? The in-between season. It's that season between when you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are called for something great, and the other side where the greatness is revealed. But in this in-between place, you have to figure out how to navigate it. You have to find a way to survive it, find a way to make sense of the challenges, the losses, the tests. And it is where tests are most severe. The test of your courage, the test of your faith, the test of your resolve, your convictions, where the claims that you make about your faith are tested. They are tested there in the beginning. You know that once you get to a point where everything has come together, it doesn't really bother you, right? There comes a time when you achieve the things you set out to achieve, or the vision comes to fruition, the assignment is in full steam and everything is coming together. At that point, it's very hard to convince you that God is not real. It's very hard to convince you that you are not a victor. But in that in-between place, it's very easy to convince you that you are losing, that you are defeated. It's very easy to convince you that this is not for you. You were not called for this. You're not supposed to be here. Sometimes you get hit in the face and you don't even have the strength to respond. You don't even know how to defend yourself. You don't know how to protect yourself in that season, how to protect your vision. Anything goes in that season. And it's in this place where strength is truly tested. For David, that's what it was. In that in-between season, where he knows he has been anointed king, but now he's fighting for his life literally. The current king is chasing him down, wanting to destroy him for no reason. Right? Now, David finds himself in exile. And when we pick it up in chapter 30 of 1 Samuel, we pick it up with David surrounded by 600 men who were soldiers, right? Who were soldiers. But there's something special about these soldiers. There's something special about them. If you go over to 1 Samuel chapter 22, if you go over to 1 Samuel chapter 22, verse 1 and verse 2, verse 1 and verse 2 of 1 Samuel chapter 22, it says, David left Gath and escaped to the cave of Adullam. When his brothers and his father's household heard about it, they went down to him there. And then it says something special. It says, all those who were in distress or in debt or discontented gathered around him, and he became their commander. About 400 men were with him. So that's the context behind these soldiers who are around David. They were not soldiers in the beginning. They were not men who carried any kind of significant value to their society in the beginning. They were men who were broken. They were men who were rejected, who were dejected. They were men who were discontented, who were in debt. And they find themselves rallying around David, who is not in the best place in his life either, but he becomes their leader. And of course, they go on to become men of significance. They go on to become more than just the broken men who gathered around David. They become warriors. Now, where we are going to focus here tonight is chapter 30, where after a while of them walking together, David and these men pretty much lose everything. They lose everything. Now remember, it's not that they've made it yet. David is not he's not in the palace. But as they are busy building themselves, and it's funny because this is a story that is all too common. It's a story that is all too common. It's hardly people who have gotten out of this in-between season who say, I've lost everything. It's often people who were still in the in-between season and they started to see things coming together. They started to see progress. They started to see this ascent. And then all of a sudden, the harshest test of your life comes. And you find yourself in a place where you wonder, I don't even have much in the first place. Why would I lose everything? Why would I lose everything when I don't even have much to begin with? That's what happened with them. It says, by the way, remember 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 1 to 10 is what we're reading now. David and his men reached Ziklag on the third day. Now the Amalekites had raided the Negev and Ziklag. They had attacked Ziklag and burned it, and had taken captive the women and everyone else in it, both young and old. They killed none of them, but carried them off as they went on their way. When David and his men reached Ziklag, they found it destroyed by fire, and their wives and sons and daughters taken captive. So David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. They wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. I don't know if you've ever cried that way. I don't know if you have ever cried to the point where you had no more tears to cry. You had no more strength to cry. Listen, they wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. That's where they are. They just lost everything. They just lost everything. They had left their settlement. And when all the men were gone, when David and these warriors were gone, their enemies came into their territory. They were in enemy territory in the first place, but that's a long story. But they came into their camp. They burnt everything down and took everyone in it. Obviously, the people taken some of them would be considered to be plunder, and some of them would be considered to be slaves. But they took everyone, burnt everything, and now they come back to find their homes burnt. Everything they worked for. Remember I told you that when these men met David, they were men who didn't have anything in the first place. They were men who didn't have much to them. They didn't have very significant names. They didn't. Now here they are, after working, after that transformation, started doing better. Then, just like that, everything gone. And so you can imagine the cries. You can imagine the weeping. It says, so David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. David's two wives had been captured, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal of Carmel. David was greatly distressed because the men were talking of stoning him. Each one was bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters. There's a line that comes after that, and I'm sure you've seen it in your own Bible. But let me start off by saying, it was valid. Oh no, it was valid. It was absolutely valid. They had just lost everything. And so having lost everything, they look at their leader, David, and they can't help but think this is all your fault. Because we follow you. You are our commander. We move when you tell us to move. We go when you tell us to go, where you tell us to go. The only reason we were not here when they took our families was because you told us to go. And it says these men, they were bitter in spirit because of their sons and daughters. And then it says, but David found strength in the Lord. But David found strength in the Lord. David lost as much as they lost. David was in even bigger trouble because he was the leader. All of this was on him. He had to carry the weight of all of these crushed spirits, the pressure of having to give an answer to these men that you are leading. How do you get them to work again? How do you get them to move again? But it says, David found strength in the Lord. May you find strength in the Lord. May you look to him when nothing makes sense. May you always remember to look to God when your strength fails you, even in seasons when you might lose everything, when everything falls apart and there is no answer that makes sense, when there is no one to explain what you are going through, when there is no answer that could satisfy you, no explanation that would suffice, that would make you feel like all of this makes sense. May you find strength in the Lord. He gives strength to the weary. I need you to understand that. And some of us, when we say this confidently, especially when you say it to someone who is in that place of crushing, some people don't hear it. Some people don't believe it. But I want you to understand that we say it with confidence because there have been times in our lives when that was the only plan we had. There have been times in my life when the only thing that would bring me out is the strength that I have in Him. Finding strength in Him. Listen, you did everything. You tried everything. You go out there and you do this and you do that. No one has an answer. Or perhaps you sit in an empty house. The funeral is over. Everyone has eaten the scones, given you 2 words, 3 words. They've went home. Most of them have forgotten. They have their own lives. There's nothing wrong with that. May you find strength in the Lord. May you find strength in the Lord. When you have to deal with public embarrassment, public shame, may you find strength in the Lord. When it feels like you've lost everything, may you find strength in the Lord. When you close the doors because nothing has worked out, find strength in the Lord. When you pack your bags to leave the home where you thought only death would separate you, find strength in the Lord. Raising children by yourself, a life that you never saw for yourself, find strength in the Lord. Plans put together, investments made from a place of conviction and enthusiasm, everything lost. Find strength in the Lord. Find strength in the Lord. That's where these men were. That's where these men were. David, I don't know how, but man, kind of makes sense when you hear that he was a man after God's own heart, doesn't it? It says, verse 7, then David said to Abiathar, the priest, the son of Ahimelech, bring me the ephod. Abiathar brought it to him, and David inquired of the Lord. And David inquired of the Lord, shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? Pursue them, he answered. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue. Listen, don't miss that. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. You don't want to go through that very quickly. David says, should I go, Lord? Now, here's the thing. David also cried. No, no, he also cried. Verse 4 said, so David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. But there was no answer in that. I'm not saying you are wrong for crying. That express yourself. But there was no answer in that. I want you to get this. I want you to get this. First, he cried. Oh boy, he cried. I don't know what it looks like when a grown man cries until he doesn't have any strength left. The last time I cried like that, I was a boy. He cried. And when that was done, you know what was his next thing to God? He inquired, Lord, what's next? What is next? What do I do? How do I handle this? How do I get all of it back? He inquired of the Lord, shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? Now, here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, as someone who lost everything, I can't imagine the kind of discipline that it takes to know exactly where the person who stole from you lives and still have to ask God, Lord, what do I do? What? It seems unreasonable. It's like, you know where he lives. Well, get your stuff. Right? But he starts off by inquiring with God. The reason why I say this is because, my friend, when you lose everything, it's very easy to act out of emotion. It's very easy to try and recover everything from an emotional place. And that emotion might be frustration. That emotion might be just hurt. That emotion might be discouragement. I don't know what it might be. It might be anger. It's very easy to act out of emotion. It's very easy to move because you've lost everything. You're going to try by all means to get it back. I'm going to get it back. I'm going to get it back. And it is at that point, my friend, where the loss is multiplied. You ever multiplied your loss when you try to recover? When you try to restore? I'm not talking to the Betway people, even though maybe it has happened to you as well. Listen, when you try to get everything back, your own strength, because you're angry, you know what you do? You react. You react. And reacting does not give you the solution that you desire. David inquired of the Lord. He inquired of the Lord. When the emotions were high, he cried, or he let it out. And after that, speaks to the priest. Said, bring me my ephod. I want to talk to God. He talks to God. David and the 600 men with him came to the Besor Valley, where some stayed behind. 200 of them were too exhausted to cross the valley, but David and the other 400 continued the pursuit. 200 were too tired to keep going, but the other 400 continued the pursuit. And then you jump over to verse 18. Verse 18 to 20. Verse 18 to 20. You can read the rest of it by yourself, by the way. Read the whole chapter by yourself. The whole book. Start by 1 Samuel chapter 1. Verse 17 to 20. My bad, 17 to 20. 17 to 20. It says, David fought them. Of course, now this is the raiding party that came and took everything that belonged to them. David fought them from dusk until the evening of the next day, and none of them got away except 400 young men who rode off on camels and fled. David recovered everything the Amalekites had taken, including his 2 wives. Nothing was missing, young or old, boy or girl, plunder or anything else they had taken. David brought everything back. He took all the flocks and herds, and his men drove them ahead of the other livestock, saying, "This is David's plunder." This is David's plunder. From having lost everything, discouraged, crushed, weeping to the point where he couldn't cry anymore, to going out in courage. We're getting it back. We are going to recover what is ours. We're going to get back what belongs to us. But it is not a product of frustration. It is not a response of ego. It is not a response that comes from an emotional place. It comes from inquiring with the Lord. When he took that step with assurance. And this is the most important part of the believer's journey. The assurance, the certainty, the confirmation from God. That confirmation that says, you have a heavenly host with you. Go out there and you will surely win. Go out there and you will surely win. Those who are with you are more than those who are against you. They might think that they are more than you, but you will win. David goes out there, and him and 400 men, it says they fought. They fought an entire day. They started today, they finished tomorrow. Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. But my friend, when the Lord gives you strength, when the Lord renews your strength, all things become possible. All things become possible. Right? Listen, this was the lowest point of David's life. Loses everything. While he's away, literally, in a moment, loses everything. But yet in that moment of collapse, that moment when everything had fallen apart, found his strength in the Lord. He strengthened himself in the Lord. And my friend, one of the biggest lessons that you learn from this, and really as you read the word, as you find yourself in the word, one of the most important lessons that we learn is that strength is built from the inside out. Right? That strength is built from the inside out. And sometimes we struggle and sometimes we fail because we try to build our strength from the outside in. We try to fix everything on the outside, hoping that it will strengthen us. We learn that strength is built from the inside out. David had lost everything. He had not went out and recovered what he lost. There was no restoration yet. He was still weak from crying. Listen, that strength is built from the inside out. And if it's not being built on the inside, oh my friend, listen. You can do whatever you want you can do whatever you want to fix your space, and when you wake up in the morning, make your bed. All right? All of these behavior modifications, and only to find out that it brings you back to the same place. You will wake up in the morning and you will make your bed and do push-ups and come back to that same place, the same person, discouraged, crushed. It happens. It absolutely happens. So strength is built from the inside out. It starts within. It starts with you asking the Lord to strengthen you in your inner being, as Paul puts it. Right? That he would strengthen you in your inner being. And it is only at that point, again, as Paul says, that you will know how high, or rather how great is his love for you. So I say this to, once again, to speak to that person who is in a place where you've lost your strength because nothing makes sense. You lost everything and you became weak. Comes from the inside out. So a couple of things I want us to go away with here tonight from our reading. A couple of things I want us to go away with. Are you ready? Say yes. Number one, I want you to put this down for yourself. Number one, acknowledge your weakness honestly. Acknowledge your weakness honestly. Now, there is no greater acknowledgement than for David and his men to all weep. Hey, they all wept. They don't get there and try to show off to one another. Nah, they are crushed. They are crushed. And they cry. They weep. My friend, that strength begins with honesty. The strength we speak of begins with honesty. They didn't pretend to be okay. They grieved. They cried, right? And I'll tell you right now, the times in my life when I struggled with weakness was when I pretended to not be weak. When I pretended to be okay. When I wouldn't admit that I'm tired, right? And that pretend version of myself, the pretend version of myself does not have God's grace. Because that's not me. That is not me. God cannot bless who I pretend to be. And sometimes who I really am in that moment, in the physical, of course, is just an exhausted man. God, I've tried everything. I don't know what I should try next. I don't know what else to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know where to go. It feels as though everything has fallen apart. What now? What now? Let's be honest. Lord, it hurt. Oh, it hurt me. And I'll tell you now, oftentimes I know, I can see I can see the spiral of a Christian coming. I can see the downward spiral from a distance when someone goes through something tragic and they pretend that everything is okay. When they go through something tragic and the moment you talk to them, no. You see, me, I'm one person. I'm one person who just. Then there comes a day. There comes a day. Everything just comes undone. So, my friend, acknowledge your weakness. Acknowledge it. It's okay. Acknowledge when you are in a place of crushing. Jesus himself, with droplets of blood for sweat, he says, can I get out of this? If it be your will, can this cup pass me by? Now, every time I say this, I've told you before that it's very important for you to exercise wisdom, right? I've told you before that it's very important for you to exercise wisdom. And what I mean by this is use your discernment. Understand when it is to really let yourself be. Can't always. I can't always come here and say, "Oh, mother guys, I guess I can't always do that. You're here, you're listening to me. You're looking for guidance, you're looking for leadership, you're looking for an answer. So I'm wise enough to know that you don't go out there and broadcast your weakness to the world. And it's like, yes, no, you don't do that. Right? You don't do that. So really exercise caution in this. I want you to hear what I'm saying, but at the same time, exercise caution. Allow yourself to be wise. Allow yourself to be wise. Don't go out there telling everybody. And then after that you say, yeah, no, I'm not afraid of telling people. Some people are sharks. They were waiting for that. They were waiting for the right moment to come and finish you. So exercise wisdom and discernment, of course, but acknowledge your weakness honestly. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 says, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. My power is made perfect in weakness. And Paul goes on to say, Paul is saying, that's what God told me. And then I realized that I can boast about my weaknesses. I can boast about my weakness. I have a lot of strengths, but I can boast about my weaknesses now. Because his power is made perfect in my weakness. My friend, what is draining you in this season? What is exhausting you? In which area of your life do you see weakness? Just write it down. Submit it to God. Submit it to God. For somebody, this might be the first time you ever acknowledge it before God. To say, I'm exhausted. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. So don't try to numb it anymore. Name it. Name it. Number two, separate yourself from the noise. Separate yourself from the noise. It says David was distressed because everybody wanted to kill him. Everyone said, give us David, bring him here. David will know us today. We've lost our children because of him. But then it says, but David found strength in the Lord. He was distressed, but then he found strength in the Lord. There was no one around him for him to find strength in. There was no one around him to say, no, you can do it. There was no one around him to say that. Right? So, sure, he loved his men, but in that moment, their voices were overwhelming. Their voices were overwhelming. My friend, listen to me. There are times when I know you love your family. I know you, I know, listen, I know it's where you come from. You never turn your back on your people. I'm not saying turn your back on your people, but there are times when you need to separate yourself. There are times you need to separate yourself from the noise. Right? Because listen, you need to understand that a strength, you cannot regain your strength when you are surrounded by people who blame, when you are surrounded by fear, when you are surrounded by doubt, when you are surrounded by bitterness, you are surrounded by unforgiveness, surrounded by resentment. You cannot regain your strength from that place. You cannot. And so sometimes you find yourself surrounded by all of that. Everybody around you is blaming everybody, pointing fingers. Everybody is miserable, and you just have to separate yourself. Right? You just have to separate yourself. And that separation starts at an internal place where you separate what you focus on. You pull it away from everything that is negative, everything that is overwhelming you right now. You just, whatever is lovely, whatever is true, whatever is noble, everything that is praiseworthy, you think about such things. You think about such things. You sort through your thoughts. Separate yourself from the noise. As he says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. So you wanna identify what it is that has been draining your strength. You want to identify what has been draining your strength. You pay attention. Sometimes it's your own thoughts. When you direct them to a certain place, when you think of a certain thing in a certain way, you realize that always leaves me drained. Or perhaps you realize that it's people. You realize that it's people. These people that I have conversations with every single day, all we do is complain together. That's all we do. All we do is complain. I'm trying to regain my strength. And guess what? I will find myself making the same confessions that brought me to this place in the first place. So identify those voices. Whether they are inside or outside, identify those voices and separate yourself from them. It is crucial in your rebuilding season. It's crucial. Number three, strengthen yourself in the Lord, not in circumstances. Strengthen yourself in the Lord, not in circumstances. And by that I mean, don't wait for things to work out before you can find your strength again. Don't wait for everything to come together before you can find strength. Strengthen yourself in the Lord. And some of us are struggling because we are expecting things to come together before we can find strength. We want things to come together. We want things to work out. And our rejoicing, our strength is based on the condition that everything works out. But listen, you need to regain your strength even before things work out, because chances are that's the only way that things will work out. When David was weeping until he couldn't, when he cried until he couldn't cry anymore, guess what? He needed his strength to return for him to go out and recover all that was taken from him. He needed his strength to return to him, to go out there and fight for what he lost. And so if you are waiting for things to work out first, where do you think you will get the strength from for things to work out in the first place? Because it's not like David goes out there and they just give him back what they took. It's not, he doesn't go out there and say, give it back, and they give it back. They don't do that. He goes out there and he fights to get back what he lost. You need strength. You will need to be strengthened from this place of weakness. From this place where it doesn't look like there's a reason to even get up. This is when you need to get up. So strengthen yourself in the Lord, not in circumstances, my friend. In the Lord. Number four, ask God for strategy. Don't just complain. Ask God for strategy. Don't just complain. Don't listen. And I know sometimes because we misunderstand, it might sound like the call to prayer is the call to complain to God. This is not a call to complain to God. It is not for you to go to God and say, after everything I went through, after everything I did, after everything, this and that. Ask God for strategy. Ask Him for a way to recover everything that was lost. Listen to me. Ask Him, God, what's the plan now? God, where do I go? What do I do? How do I do it? Who do I talk to? Prayer is not just about you complaining to God and venting to God. After the crying comes the solution. After the crying comes the solution. And no one is saying the crying is wrong, right? No one is saying that the crying is wrong. I never look at you and say, don't cry. No, I know. But, ask God for strategy. David inquired of the Lord. He inquired of the Lord, and when he inquired, he said, "Shall I pursue them? Shall I pursue these raiders? Will you give them to me?" And God said, "Go." Right? God, will I overtake them? Pursue them. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue. You will succeed in the rescue. You will succeed. Go. You will succeed. Go. My friend, listen to me. In your recovery, in your restoration, in your breakthrough, there are things that matter. I want you to understand matters of timing are important. Whichever way you try to spin it, there are opportunities that are time sensitive. There are relationships that are approach sensitive, and you need to know how to approach. You need to know what to do. There are seasons that require for you to know what to do. And sometimes you pray to God, and guess what? He sends you a mentor. And you don't know what it is, but there is something about this mentor that just gives me the confidence that they know what they're talking about. And they say, do this and you do that. Do it like this and you do it like that. So don't just be praying to say, God, after everything I've been through, do you even care? Ask for strategy. Ask for strategy. Right? Once your strength returns, once you've prayed and you are now encouraged to go again, don't just go again the way you went out last time. Don't try to do this the way you tried to do it last time. Ask God for strategy. Because here's the truth. Strength without strategy leads to exhaustion. Strength without strategy leads to exhaustion. You will be exhausted. When you don't know what you're doing, when you don't know how to do it, you will be exhausted. You'll just spend that strength with nothing to show for it. You need strategy from the one who knows it all. And finally, number 5, move again, even if you're still healing. Move again, even if you're still healing. Even when you are still putting it together, move again. Listen, it says David with his 600 men, when they pursued to go and recover what was taken from them, it says about 200 of his men were too tired. 200 of them couldn't do it anymore. 200 of them. And no one sat down and said, sometimes you have to focus on the mental health because winning is not everything. Mental health is more important. I'm not saying mental health is not important, but I'm just saying that sometimes, especially where victory is time sensitive, where your breakthrough is time sensitive, there are times when unfortunately you have to move while you are healing. You have to be like that superhero in the movie who tears off the sleeve of his shirt so that he can tie the bullet wound to stop the bleeding, and then limps off to go and rescue the little girl that was kidnapped. Right? There are times where you are still limping, but you are moving anyway. You're still healing, but you're moving anyway. Right? You're hurting, but you're moving anyway. It's not that you have it together. It's that you need to move. You need to move. I know, I get it. I get it. And sometimes you listen to people say things they don't understand. Sometimes you just have to sit down and just focus on yourself. That's because you have enough food in the fridge to focus on yourself. Some of us don't have enough food in the fridge to focus on ourselves. So what do you mean? Sometimes when people try to pamper you and try to, cuddle you, they do it from a comfortable place. They do it from a place where they can go back home. They can go back to their parents and go back to the room they grew up in, because ever since they left the house, there was a room for them with a bed. And so sometimes you just don't have that. Sometimes you're in a place where you have to move anyway. You move. Even while you are hurting, you are moving. Sometimes you're a mother who just cannot afford to sit down and lick your wounds, because if you do, your children might not make it. So what you're trying to nurse yourself at the same time while you are trying to make sure that you take care of your kids, you get them a home after losing it, or you put them back in school after you couldn't afford it anymore, whatever it is. There are times when you have to move while you are still healing. There are times when we just don't have the luxury of sitting down and saying, you guys are tired, let's wait. Now we'll find you guys here when we come back. We'll find you guys here when we come back. You stay here and you recover. Some of us are there, my friend. Somebody listening to this right now is there right now. And it sounds like I don't care what you are going through. It sounds like I don't understand. Oh, but hear me, I understand. Please hear me, I understand. Move again, even if you're still healing. And you'll be amazed at how your strength multiplies as you move. You'll be amazed at how you recover your strength while you move, not while you are sitting and waiting for the strength to come back. So, my friend, you may see yourself in the story with David. Number one, he felt the pain. Secondly, he strengthened himself in the Lord. Third, he asked for strategy. He asked God for strategy. And fourth, he pursued. He pursued, he moved. And then, of course, in the end, he recovered, restored. So I don't know if you might be seeing yourself in any of these 4 different places. You may see yourself in any of these 4 different places. Perhaps you are at a place where it just hurts. It just happened now. You just found out now. Just got into it now. You are crying. As you are in that place, my friend, I want to encourage you. Strengthen yourself in the Lord. If that's where you are, you need to strengthen yourself in the Lord. And if you are in a place where you say, you know what, I've been strengthening myself in the Lord. It's been hard, but I've been speaking to Him. I've been committed to being strengthened in my inner being because I had to. I had to. There was no other way. If that's where you are, you now need to ask God for a strategy. You need to inquire of the Lord. You have to. You have to. My friend, you can't just keep asking Him for stuff. You can't just keep asking Him for stuff. You ought to ask Him for a strategy. Right? Ask Him for strategy. Number 4, move. Pursue. If you have the strategy, if you have been given that revelation of what needs to be done, and perhaps you are here tonight listening to me at a place where you need restoration, you need to recover what was lost, you need to regain and rebuild, but you are not moving. You know what to do. I'm telling you now, it won't get done. It will not get done. Move. Pursue. Pursue. And as a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, if you are in a place right now where you desperately need strategy, I've said this before, but take some time and let that be your focus with God. Let that be your focus. Because for some of us, our minds are so clouded that it's nearly impossible for us to just say the word once and God speaks to us. For some of us, it's really, really difficult. We don't hear so easily. We don't see so easily. And if that's the case, perhaps it's worth taking some time to fast. Take some time to fast and pray. Ask God for strategy. Ask God to show you the way. Right? I don't just ask Him, God, send me 3,000 just to cover. No. Lord, give me strategy. I need strategy. I need a way. Don't know what to do. Don't know where to go. I'm at a crossroads. Difficult decision to make. Give me strategy. And my friend, He will show you the way to go. You will find that the Holy Spirit is indeed that close and personal friend who will whisper in your ear, this is the way, go in it. That's what we want. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for your word and we thank you for this platform, these people who are watching from different parts of the world. I pray, God, that for those of us who have received this word with gladness, for those of us who have received this word with that eagerness to be strengthened again, and to find a solution again, to find a way forward, to recover what has been lost, to strengthen what remains. I pray, God, that you will give your people the wisdom to be doers of your word. Give your people the wisdom to find application for the word and not just be hearers, not just be spectators, not just be readers of the word, but Father, to walk according to the word, to put it into action, to put it to practice. for the glory of your name. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Amen. Family, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Listen, thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate you. And I want you to know, I truly do believe in you. Truly do believe in you. If you are here tonight, you're looking for strength. Life is not so easy. Everything bad that could happen has happened. You're going to be okay. You are going to be okay, my friend. So take this word and go and put it into practice. Go and put it into practice. I love and appreciate you all. And let's go out and not go out. Don't go out. Don't go out. Don't go out. Go to sleep. Don't go out. Don't go out. Unless you're in the USA or somewhere where the sun is still up. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Let's go to sleep, and we'll meet here again tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. we'll be back here again. And of course, as always, my friends, please go get yourself a copy of Unlocking Favor with God and People. The link is on my bio. If you want to support the work we do here, if you want to help us sustain what we're doing here, this book goes a long way in doing that, and bless somebody else with it. Bless somebody else with it as well. Tell someone else that they need to read this book. Gift it. So start collecting them so that you can gift them to everybody in your life. Friends, let's go do some work. I've got quite a bit to do. Quite a bit. It's not even quite a bit, but the Lord will give me strength. Yeah, the Lord will give me strength. Right. How long it takes when you order on WhatsApp? It should be 3 to 5 days, but please send a message to that WhatsApp number. Send a message to the WhatsApp number to inquire at any time that you are uncertain, any time that you feel uneasy, anytime you feel like your money was taken. Just send a message there so that you are always sure about what is happening and where everything is. Yesterday you didn't miss the live stream. I was on the road and I got back quite late, so I live streamed from 9:30. I live streamed from 9:30. So we're 30 minutes late last night because I drove as fast as I could. At the speed limit, within the speed limit. As fast as I could within the speed limit. That's what I said. That was the full sentence. So yeah, but we're here again. And if you missed last night, you can go catch the replay. Go catch the replay on YouTube. Right. YouTube, have a great evening and God bless you all. Thank you very much I'll tell you now who you are, but I appreciate you. Mpo Moteke. Mpo, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your gift. Thank you very much for that super chat. I do appreciate it, and I appreciate you. That's very generous of you, and may God bless you. And of course, everybody who sends gifts over there on TikTok, I do appreciate you. Everyone go and buy Unlocking Favor with God and People. The link is on my bio. Go to our website. Right. Bye-bye.